Welcome back to the FreeTruth show. It is 5 p.m, 3 minutes past 5 on the sunny south coast of England in the ancient kingdom of Wessex. I'm Patrick Lynch, I'm your host, and I'm delighted to have a guest today. The name is Michael J. Murphy from Why in the World Are They Spraying, which is being premiered this weekend at the California Chemtrail Conference, where Roseanne Barr is speaking as well, actually, and Clifford Carlicon and a host of others on the chemtrail subject. Michael J. Murphy is a filmmaker from Truth Media Productions, and we'll give him a call now and discuss the follow-up from What in the World Are They Spraying? Chemtrails are very real, they're having a devastating effect on the environment and especially on people's health. For the last 15 years, people have been sprayed across the planet, every country, by unmarked military or private jets. We can't get the governments or the environment agencies or the newspapers to give us some kind of explanation. It's a media blackout, it's a big black operation hidden in plain sight, in airplane sight. So without any further ado, we'll bring on the dude himself, Mr. Michael J. Murphy. We'll just call him now. And this is our second show today. There will be another one at 1 a.m. London time GMT. Hello, Michael Murphy. Are you with us? Hello, Michael. How are you, Michael?
How are you?
Yeah, not so bad, thanks. You're a little low. I'm just going to turn you up a little bit here.
Okay, and I wasn't planning on being on video. This is just going to be a voice recording, correct?
That's right. Yep, you'll be able to see me, and presumably you can see me, but it's just a voice recording. Yeah, but we are also live on Ustream, so people can see me on Ustream, and they'll be able to check out this video later. And we're recording it and stick it lots of places, and if that's great. Yep. And so it's my second show today. I'm doing one at 1 a.m. as well, London time. So earlier we had the Sovereign Independent UK editor, Neil Foster, and we have Michael J. Murphy, the filmmaker of Why in the World Are They Spraying? The follow-up to What in the World Are They Spraying? I was just introducing you and explaining to people what chemtrails are, how it's been going on for over 15 years across every country across the planet, and we can't get the media to talk about it. So, and your films have had a devastating effect on the media blackout, the black operation hidden in plain or aeroplane sight, if you forgive the pun. It's the biggest crime in history, and I'm delighted to be able to bring on one of the big hitters in exposing this agenda of aerial spraying, weather modification, chemtrail, call it what you like. And welcome to the FreeTruth show. Welcome back. Actually, this is the third time I've spoken to you, isn't it?
I think so, Patrick, and welcome back on air. It's good to be talking to you again, and we're really appreciative of you addressing this issue. Those of us who are aware and have been researching this really feel that, as you stated, it is the biggest crime against nature and humanity, and the most underreported story. We're very hopeful, though. The first film was instrumental in waking up over 10 million people.
Wow.
The second film has gotten incredible reviews. We've been able to share it with a few people, and the write-ups, again, have been incredible. So we're expecting to have a much greater impact with this. Of course, we tie in the financial agendas to these programs. So hopefully we'll dig a little bit deeper into that today. But I'm really grateful for people like you and working with your audience and educating them about this.
Well, absolutely. I had a sneak preview of Why in the World Are They Spraying trailer. Funnily enough, this is the first time I've actually broadcasted for about over 4 months, really. And my computer's been working absolutely fine. And guess what? It's not. It's slowed down. It's not a Virgin fast train. It's a kind of a first prototype of the bicycle, sort of slow. So I have to deal with that as best we can. As you say, there was the first film that he made, What in the World Are They Spraying, was a tremendous success. Looking forward to seeing the next one, having 10 million views. That's incredible. You must be very pleased with the hard work that you've done.
Well, it seems like a lot, but if you look at the percentage of people that are just here in America, you know, we have a population of over 300 million people, so it's a very small percentage. And the thing about the chemtrail geoengineering issue, it literally affects every living thing on the planet in a very negative way. So this is why we're calling people to get active to address this on a greater issue. Like the first film, we're encouraging people who purchased the DVD to make copies and hand out for free, and it was very instrumental in areas like Maui, Hawaii, New York, where we now have county ordinances that are being established to ban these programs from those regions. So you can find out more information and actually see the trailer on our website, which is whyintheworldaretheyspraying.com, and it's actually premiering here in Los Angeles on Saturday. We're really excited about that at the Consciousness Beyond Chemtrails event.
Yep.
And obviously over in Europe, it's going to be quite a trek for many of you to come over, but it's available on live stream. So you can get more information on that on our website, whyintheworldaretheyspraying.com.
Sure. I nearly made it myself, actually. I was looking at tickets, and financially it wasn't able to happen, but I would dearly love to have attended. So I will be hopefully tuning in online. It's a good idea that people can do that. Have you had many offers from other stations and independent TV companies to help promote your film? People must be chomping at the bit to see it.
They are, and we do have distribution. We're expecting this to go mainstream just because, you know, it's amazing. The things that hopefully we'll discuss today are the things that are coming to fruition in terms of drought and everything else. So when you get critical mass, the media then does have to react, and they do have to present this. Of course, we hope and pray that they hold on to integrity, which there's not much left in the corporate mainstream media, or should I say the lamestream media. But it's something that will it is something that will go mainstream. So we're prepared for that. And again, this is an issue that people are waking up to. We've seen the movement grow tenfold in just the past year and a half. And again, this film, as we'll discuss, will be a catalyst in bringing this into the mainstream, getting people activated, and really moving closer to getting these programs stopped.
I wake up some mornings and my nose is so bunged up I can hardly breathe. I look out the window like this and I'm like, yep, they're at it again. It's been non-stop this year. This 2012 has just been bang, bang, bang. Virtually every day. We had about a week, about 2 weeks of clear days in all so far. And with the Morgellons effects, I don't call it a disease, with the Morgellons health effects, the fibres coming out of people. I've seen pictures of somebody not far from where I live with fibres coming out of their fingers, and videos of people scraping worms away from the bottom of their feet, worm-like creatures that instantly grow back. The health effects are bad. The respiratory problems, the flu-like symptoms, oh, there must be a bug going around. It's off the scale, and people are asking me, well, why aren't more people getting ill then? They are. We're imbibing these kind of bacteria and fibres from the chemtrails, as well as the aluminum oxide, aluminium oxide, barium salts, strontium, which is radioactive. They're the three main things that's been identified, and carnicominstitute.org is an excellent place to go for tests and analysis. Folks, this is real. When did you first become aware of these chemtrails? Let's get back to basics if we can.
Well, I became aware
because I know, sorry, I do know that California is absolutely drenched in them a lot.
Well, you know, since we released What in the World Are They Spraying, hundreds of people from around the world now have begun testing rain. Rain is a very good indicator of atmospheric contamination, and what they're finding now around the world is what many are calling the chemtrail geoengineering footprint of aluminum, barium, and strontium. These metals are the metals that are named in a number of several geoengineering patents. They're patents for devices used to specifically spray aluminum, barium, and other heavy metals. They match what geoengineers deny they're spraying, however, say that they want to start. Geoengineers are now calling for emergency geoengineering by the year 2013. That's next year. And what we see in the sky in terms of these long trails that do not dissipate, they actually spread out and block the sun. And there's a new issue now. It's called global dimming. It's been reported now by credible scientists that Earth is getting 20% less of the sunlight than we received just a couple decades ago. And that's, of course, an expressed interest of geoengineering. You had brought up health implications. Not only are people finding this in rain tests around the world, people have now started taking hair follicle tests and blood tests. There was a group in Mojave County, Arizona. Over 20 people got blood tests. Over 80% of that group had levels of barium that were considered to be 1,000 times over the elevated amount. I mean, these numbers are just through the roof. Barium lowers our immune system. Aluminum will build up in our system relating to a bunch of other cancers. But, it's interesting, since we released the first film, millions of people have woken up to the reality of these programs. But the question really that we got asked, and that I was asked many times, is why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? So it was interesting how I got into the research of this new film, and I was just incredibly shocked by what we had learned.
Here I've got lots of flyers, chemtrails. I've got a stack of flyers here. I've done Chemtrail Information Day in 5 different towns so far. 500 flyers each time. So we've had about 5,000 flyers out to the public. We've handed it to them. I haven't had one feedback. No one has come to me and said, "You're the chap I met on the street. My God, I'm very concerned about this. How can I find out more and help?" Very strange. But people do it in their own way. Sometimes they're embarrassed, or they just throw it in the bin or something. I don't know. But here we are with the flyers. I mean, you make us one of the best documentaries I've ever seen in my life. Never mind that it's about chemtrails. So professionally done, so well presented, so well researched, and genuine. A real professional film piece. And it reaches 10 million viewers, and it's still not enough. So people have got to also get out and send DVDs, make copies, buy Michael J. Murphy's DVD and make copies, as he said, and get out on the streets and do this kind of thing. I'm just showing people the chemtrail flyers now. Start your own website and blog, because can we stop them by doing this? No, but if enough people know about it, if 150 million out of 300 million in America suddenly want to do something about it and wake up and stop watching the TV, it does happen overnight, which is why the elite spend so much money trying to kill us all. So street action is vital also, would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And I run the Los Angeles Chemtrails meetup group. We have large 25 by 5 foot banners. We hit the streets. We do freeway bannering where hundreds of thousands of cars go under. They see our banners. People are waking up to this, because we have hit the street. Facebook has been a very effective tool for activism. And it's important to reach out into the community in an effective, prudent way. And of course, we burn thousands of DVDs. I rarely leave home without a free DVD of What in the World. Now I quit burning. I have a whole bunch ready to hand out for free after our release here on Saturday. And my community is ready for this. They're aware of this because I have taken time to hand out DVDs and to make my neighbors aware of these crimes. But the new film, what we had found, the question remained why. We're finding all this aluminum, barium, and strontium. And I contacted meteorologist, former 20-year weatherman Scott Stevens. Weatherman on a main station.
He's a weatherman, folks. He's the guy on the telly that normally lies to you and doesn't mention it. Now here is a weatherman from the TV, a meteorologist telling you about it. Brilliant.
It was brilliant. So I went out to, he was actually my first interview, and what we learned was groundbreaking. And one of the main things that people have been noticing, they said, why do they spray before it rains? We see usually 24 to 72 hours before intense storms, we see this heavy trailing. So I went and I spoke with Scott, and what we learned, if we look at the primary ingredient, which is aluminum oxide, geoengineers claim that by spraying aluminum oxide, it's very reflective. It will reflect the sun and thus cool the planet, which is true, but we have found numerous studies now by NASA, not that I necessarily trust NASA, and by other universities that indicate putting aerosols into our sky will reflect sunlight, temporarily, regionally cool parts of the earth, but at night those aerosols act as a blanket and they trap heat. We've seen nighttime highs go up dramatically in the past 10 to 15 years since these programs seem to have been ramped up. So the question is, why are they doing this? And again, when you see that heavy canopy, 100 miles, 500 miles ahead of a storm, aluminum is a good reflectant, but we also learned that it was a very effective conductor. And by dispersing it into the sky, geoengineers, these corporations, have the ability through the HARP system and other systems to actually heat up the atmosphere. And when the atmosphere heats, it actually rises. And when it rises, it creates a low pressure vacuum and enables these corporations to literally steer storms into certain regions, or in the case of this summer, out of certain regions, which in turn creates drought. And the science is very basic. I went to an aerosol research conference, and that's what really kicked this off. And I met with a lot of scientists, and I spoke to them about geoengineering, and they explained to me the dynamics of aerosols in our sky and how they react with weather patterns. The geoengineers are very open. They state that, you know, some of the consequences of their programs are drought. We now have most of the world which is in drought. Other consequences are disrupted weather patterns, ozone depletion. We now have a huge hole over the northern hemisphere. These programs are literally shredding our ozone, and they are destroying the entire circulation of the Pacific. So by dispersing certain aerosols into the sky, because they act as what's called cloud condensation nuclei, instead of water normally evaporating and adhering to other water molecules, eventually condensing and falling as rain, when these particulates are introduced, they actually adhere the water molecules to the particulate, and it does not fall as rain. One of the main reasons why here in California we're in drought is because they spray us really heavy, and the rain that should be falling here in California actually migrates into the Midwest, and that's when we get the intense flooding here in the Midwest and the East Coast.
So how would they steer the storms? Are you talking about steering them by using HARP?
Either HARP or another microwave frequency, very similar to how a microwave oven would warm a cup of coffee. By putting that energy, and it vibrates the molecules. And it's the same concept. Mark McCandlish, who worked as a contractor with the defense industry for a number of years, was another person who we interviewed. Very articulate, and actually worked on some of the airplanes and some of the technology that could be used to control our weather. Dr. Nick Baggage, who is a world-renowned HARP expert.